Hello and welcome to the Grow in Pair episode 21, I think.
21.
My name is Isaac Goldfarb, and with me here is.
James Edge, who is going to sound like I have a cold, so apologies for that.
Do you have a cold, James?
Yes.
So you can say I have a cold.
Well, yeah.
Not sounds like you have a cold. You have a cold. But it happens. What are we talking about today, James?
Yeah, so I guess this week I've been thinking a lot about how we kind of make positive changes in our life. And the question I wanted to bring today was what stops people changing? And I think that question is fundamental to kind of what we do as life coaches, because ultimately it's a lot of people want to make changes. It's just they don't or they can't, navigate that change. And that's where a life coach could help, or kind of a different frame of mind set would help them.
What stop people changing?
Hmm.
First answer that comes to my head is many people are not self-aware enough that they need to make a change, if you know what I mean. The awareness, the self-awareness will be my first answer to what stop people
Hmm.
changing. As you said quite correctly, part of our role as life coaches is to make our clients more self-aware,
Mm.
and that can bring a lot of other things of how they perceive life or what is the route they would like to go toward.
Mm.
That would be my first answer. What would be yours?
Yeah, so I kind of want to go deeper. And so I agree that, people need self-aware to want to change, let's say. But I also think it's can be driven by a desire for something. So let's say someone who's not self-aware, but they want to get in shape, or they want to get more money. That doesn't require self-awareness. It requires a desire to do something, but they just can't get over that initial hurdle of making the right changes for themselves. And that's when I think the self-awareness comes in. Um, but ultimately, I think a lot of people have desires they want to do or outcomes they want to achieve. They just can't get there on their own sometimes.
Another thing I can think about is a lot of people living their life. They have a job, they have family, day to
Hmm.
day. Maybe some are happier more than others, maybe
Hmm.
are not so happy, but it's kind of a flat line in a way where they don't want to make those big changes. Sometimes the changes are being forced on you. But if you decide that you have a goal and you have something you would like to reach towards or reach to,
Hmm.
can't find, let's call it, the motivation to do so. I'm talking a lot about barriers in the motivation workshop I'm running that stops you. For example, fear of failure. So there is something that you want to do and you think, oh, I'm gonna fail it. So you don't change. You don't, you stop yourself from doing anything. You keep
Hmm.
going the way you're used to.
Hmm.
Another barrier that I'm talking about is, yes, there is something in your mind that you want to get to, but it's not really clear. It's vague kind of thing. It's not really a route to where you go. So
Hmm.
so you have so many things in your mind, and because it's not clear, you're not moving forward. So that's not changing, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
People are not aware, but they can be in a burnout state
Mm.
where they're feeling down and depressed, and I always said that it's very very easy to get to a burnout stage, but it's very very hard to get out of burnout stage. I'm asking clients to keep asking themselves over and over again, am I in a
Mm.
burnout? That's
Mm.
make them more self-aware. I think what most of the people did at least once in their life, procrastinating. So you know that you need to change, you know that you need to make this happen, and then you say, okay, I'll do it mañana, I'll do it tomorrow, I'll do it next week. The way I see it of why people are not changing.
Some people, and this is because I spoke to someone that are aware that they should change something, but in their mind, the cost of going through that pain of the change is
Mm.
greater than just staying as they are. That made that decision that I don't want to put myself through that pain of changing. I'm happy being in a little bit of pain, just constant, rather than going through a big old change and going through pain myself. So I think that sometimes might occur in people's mind. To some of the points you mentioned before, it's getting them to realize, well, yeah, it is easier to stay as you are. And yes, the change is going to be uncomfortable. That's guaranteed because it is something different. But if you can kind of visualize, if you can feel all the benefits that you'll get from making that change, then you can kind of train your mind in those situations to not just do that previous calculation of the pain of change is going to be more than just staying as I am. It's going to be more the benefit of making that change is going to outweigh the benefit I'm getting right now.
When you talk to me about this friend that they know that they need to make a change, but it will be more painful the process of the change
Yeah.
than the pain they're feeling at the moment.
Yeah.
I would challenge this friend by asking them, if you have a tooth pain, the tooth pain is there. It will grow in time, but it's there.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to the dentist and you will feel that pain in that
Mm,
process of the surgery or whatever you need to do. You
mm,
feel that pain when you will recover, and then suddenly you will feel much better.
yeah. I think a lot of people do that though. They wait until the pain gets so bad that then they go to the dentist and get the tooth taken out.
But that's what I'm saying. You end up, instead of a filler, with a root
Hmm.
canal.
Hmm.
So when you feel pain, whatever this pain is in life, then basically your body is telling you, hello, I need attention. Your
Yeah.
soul tells you, I need attention.
Yeah. And that's why we do this podcast, right? If there's anyone listening and they tend to be someone who lets the pain just settle for ages and waits till it gets really bad to make a change, would urge you to try out one time, making a change quicker and seeing what the benefits are for you, taking that new approach.
I will challenge you on that because some of the changes you can't do a quick change. Some of the change are a long process of the change. And I guess in the scenario of your friend, I guess what
Mm,
they've seen that the pain of the change, which again, I will challenge that as well, but the length of the pain in that changing process would have been long compared to the pain they feel at the moment or something like that.
yeah. Well, I wouldn't look at it as the process. I'd look at it as the mindset. So the minute you can change your mindset to, okay, I want to make a change, or I believe change will benefit me, that's the key thing. However long the process takes. But it's getting that mindset where the minute you're starting to feel pain, have that mindset. It's like, okay, I'm going to change something about this, or I'm going to do something about it. It might take ages, or it might take X amount of time. But my mindset now is that that's how I deal with the situation.
How can we convince people, or how can we make people more aware that the value of making a change is greater than the current situation, even if the process is painful?
Mm. We love kind of visualization in life coaching, getting them to really think about how they would feel in that new state of being pain free. What are they feeling? What are the benefits to them, their mind, their body, everything like that. Getting them to really kind of connect into that will hopefully help them see the value in the present moment. That's one idea.
One of the most difficult things I find in the life coaching practice is to make people realize the value of going through that process. Because
Hmm.
people that went through that process can look back at themselves and say, oh my God, what amazing process I've gone through, right?
Hmm.
You know?
Hmm.
And I always talk about how it's difficult for me to convince people
Hmm.
that this will benefit you. Believe in the process of the change, and then you will be able to evaluate after. Like if you buy a
Hmm.
product, for example, you buy a phone, iPhone, whatever it is, you know what you get, right? You know
Hmm.
that you
Hmm.
you get a device that can do stuff. That can change your life, by the way, if you haven't had one before, right? But
Hmm.
you know that this will change and you see the benefit of it straight away.
Yeah, I think it becomes easier for people to see that benefit and value when they believe and trust themselves fully that they can do it. Because I think if someone doesn't feel, let's say, in their gut, inside deep down that they can do it, or they've got self-doubt, then it's going to be harder for them to, see those benefit and feelings in the future as tangible. So I think you have to get someone who's in a state of believing in themselves so they can make the change, so that then getting them to think about the value in the future, they're more likely to believe that that is achievable, that more tangible.
So I have a question to you. You
Mm-hmm.
had a massive transformation with
Mm-hmm.
your body, with your the way you practice gym and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
When you started the process, did you genuinely believe 100% that you can make it happen?
Yes, although there's a caveat. After like the first year of the pandemic, where I couldn't go to the gym, got out of shape, I then went on a 12-week course and I got into really good shape with a PT, and yeah, just kind of did that. I then went through other stuff and let myself go. So when I decided to embark this on 2023, that journey, I knew, I believed in myself I could do it, because yes, I did it before with some help, but I believed I could do it on my own going forward.
From my personal perspective, when I suffered from IBS for many, many years and I tried many, many other things,
Mm,
and then I landed on that doctor that I'm following, and since then, my life has changed dramatically. I didn't have the confidence that the change
mm,
can happen. I was making this change from a place of what do I have to lose kind of thing. I'll try another thing. I was so desperate for that change to happen.
mm-hmm,
It's an interesting one to look at where, because your question was what stopped people from changing,
mm-hmm,
but maybe we need to look at it as how can we make people change? Or what are the things we should offer to people in order for them to change?
mm. Yeah, it's a good question.
Stop ourselves from changing is in my mind is in our head, and we each one of us individual, whether we believe in the change or not, that
Mm,
change can happen. My go-to will be always try, give
mm-hmm,
it a go. What do you have to lose? What's the worst that could have happened? Those are the question I feel that people should ask themselves before any change they're
mm,
gonna make in their life. Let us know in the comments what have you thought about this changing topic, or stop people from changing topic, and
mm.
what do you think will make people change? Share with us in the comments. Of course, as always, like, subscribe, share, do everything you can do to help us grow the growing pair. Two things you're taking from today, James.
Yeah, so I think your point on sometimes maybe you don't actually believe, let's say, in the change, but you kind of have to change. And so things turn out that you do change is an interesting one, because, yeah, I'm of the belief that change will happen if you want to make the change, you believe in the change. So that's an interesting one to reflect on. Probably think back if there's anything where I doubted the change and it happened. I guess at the end of the day, just doing something is going to equal change. So just by doing things, you will get change. You don't necessarily need to have that mindset of belief, I'm going to do this. Just doing things, you'll change. So that's probably my
Mm,
biggest takeaway from this. Yeah.
it's a good one. And I want to emphasize the importance of the self-awareness, and how it's important for us to check in with ourselves every now and then. How are we doing? How are we feeling? What can we do today that will make us feel better? How can we motivate ourselves? And just have these internal conversations with yourself. We've started this conversation about me saying some people are, living their life in a one flat line. But we need to remember what this one flat line means.
Mm,
Does it mean being alive? Not necessarily.
yeah, that's a good point.
Till next time, see you guys very, very soon.
Adios.